All right, ladies and gentlemen, Last 33 podcast. Jake Surratt. We're drinking cold beer tonight. It is a crisp Thursday, January evening, and I'm here with a very special individual, Mr. Clifford Yuyun. Cliff, how the hell are we doing tonight, brother man?
Oh, we're doing great, brother. We're doing great, and I really appreciate you having me over. I know we've talked about this for over 2 years now.
Yep.
Finally, we're
Cliff
here.
and I have known each other for about 2 years, and he knew I had a podcast, knew I had like athletes, country music guys on here. One fact about Cliff, he's actually got quite the following on TikTok that he doesn't use it right now actively, but he built up a TikTok following. He's got 1 million followers on TikTok. If you want to find him, it's Ella and Cliff. Is that correct?
Yes, Ella and Cliff.
So are you planning on utilizing that account moving forward? Because I think it's been like 3 months since you posted.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing that. Just that I've been moving around quite a bit. So when I finally settle down, I can, start posting again.
Yeah. So are you gonna post the same kind of content that you've always posted, or are you gonna kind of branch out and do a different realm? I know you've been posting a lot of fitness stuff on like Instagram and Snapchat. Are you gonna move that over to TikTok at any point, or?
Nah. With the TikTok, the following that and when I say we, my daughter and I, the following that we have on TikTok right now is based on a dad and daughter duo, So if I switch that to fitness stuff, honestly, trust me, all those followers are going to disappear.
Well, yeah, I think the thing about fitness is there's a lot of guys out there who go to the gym and like record themselves and post on TikTok, guys and girls. I think that's one of the viral things right now when like girls are at the gym. Joey Swole, you ever heard of Joey Swole?
Yeah,
he's like the big, bald, jacked guy.
Yeah.
There's always like girls who get mad at a guy for like glancing at him at the gym. And then he kind of like exposes them, basically saying like everyone's allowed to work out, like quit judging people at the gym. But I feel like people they get tired of the fitness stuff sometimes on like when people are trying to do TikTok and make it seem like they're one of a kind, because everyone works out. There's a lot of trainers out there. Mm-hmm. I enjoy your stuff because whenever I see your stuff on Instagram or Snapchat, I'm like, Cliff got after it today. I slacked. I'm going to get up and go to the gym right now. It's more of like an accountability thing, which I think that's what you use it for so far, right? Mm-hmm. Like aren't you in like a group text or something, kind of like holding everybody accountable and stuff?
Oh, yeah. So, and I think I once told you how we came about with that group. So it's like a WhatsApp group.
Right.
So a bunch of friends, and it just started with a friend where we used to go to the gym. It's just like you loving going to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know what you're going to do. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym today. But once you're going, you freestyle.
Yeah.
You just
do a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Oh,
and then next thing you know, you've done like 5 different workouts, but didn't really feel a burn anywhere. You're just like, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So, I mean, you just go in. And the other thing is when you're freestyling, you're looking at your surrounding. You're like, these people are judging. This guy's judging me. You see guys that are really jacked up. You see them like people that have been working out and they know what they're doing.
Right.
So it scares you a little bit because you're like, now I don't think I want to try this workout. I don't think I want to try this workout. These people are gonna laugh at me, or But my friend and I decided to like, all right. And honestly, just like any other person out there, there's a lot of people that start going to the gym because they have a lot going on in their lives, like, they're stressing out because of something going on.
Right.
I was in that situation where I was like, if I stay at home every day, relaxing on my couch,
eating potato chips.
Oh, yeah. And normally I gain a lot of weight.
Drink some cold beer, pizza, watch the game, watch the soccer game.
So I was getting a lot of weight. I think I was 215, but that's not my normal weight. I'm always around 175, and But so I thought about it. So I'm just going to start going to the gym. I was actually going to work, and I decided to look for just gyms around, just near me.
Right.
And I saw that there was 10 gyms just right down the street. So I pulled out my phone. I was walking. I remember it's just by the new building. I pulled out my phone. I saw 10 gym. I'm like, all right, let's register. I registered right there and then. Went to the gym that evening and got on a treadmill, started running. A few days later, I'm like, okay, let's research on workouts. And I was talking to a guy. He sent me, he was like, this is a gift. So there's an app that he's using, and you can send someone a gift, a workout for the day. So he sent me one. I got on that app and I loved it. So I signed up, $15 a month. And that's when I called my friend in Dallas. I'm like, hey, I got this app and I love it. He got on the same app and we started following the workouts. We followed this guy. He's a really famous guy on Instagram, Josh Bailey. So we followed him on that app and we started with bro split.
Okay.
Yeah, so the bro split is like you do shoulders today, you do chest tomorrow, you do legs the next day. So you just split in everything. So when you go into the gym, all you're doing is like you're working each muscle every day. That's how we started. And I would text him in the morning, hey bro, punching in at the gym. He would text me, punching in at the gym. So later on, we decided to add a few more friends on the group chat that you were talking about. And now I think we have 68 people on it. Yep, they're just going punching in, punching out.
Do you know all of them, or is it just kind of snowballed into?
No, bro, I know like 5 of them that I know them for.
But
real.
you and the other guy are the ones that started it.
Yeah, we just started that. He was like, one evening, he was like, hey, let's create a group and add some of our guys.
Yeah.
So we added 2 guys, and then they added some of their friends.
Yeah.
And then this guy added his girlfriend added her friend, just like that. So now before you wake up in the morning, there's guys in Cameroon, there's guys in the UK. So time, like in the UK right now, it could be maybe midnight or something. So by the time we wake up in the morning, you'll see like, oh, they already punched in. And by the time we're punching in, they're sleeping. So it's just like you're waking up, punching in. We started doing challenges.
Yeah. You've been a big challenge guy. I feel like as humans, we kind of crave like fellowship in whatever we're doing. Yeah. So, I mean, that's why people go to church, so they can have like their church family. That's why people love sports a lot of the time, because people love being on a team. They love rooting for the same team. You like interacting with people kind of with a common goal. And I guess that's where people get motivated to go to the gym. This happened to me the other day. I told Cliff to start texting me at 5 a.m. when he was waking up in the morning to go to the gym, because a goal of mine is to wake up at 5 a.m. and go. Yeah. Hopefully, like the goal is every morning. It's really tough, especially when you've gone a couple mornings in a row. So there was one morning where alarm went off and I was laying there, and everyone knows that feeling. Everyone hears that voice in their head. You're like, oh my God, I would give anything just to lay in bed right now, and I can easily. I can just make the decision right now to just stay here.
Oh, for sure.
Why do I have to? I can so easily not go to the gym. And so I was sitting there battling that, and it's like there's 2 voices, so the devil and the angel on each shoulder. And I was like, oh, it's like 5:03. Cliff hasn't texted me yet, so he's not working out yet. So I'm not gonna feel bad if I don't go. And then here I go. I get a text from Cliff. He sends me like a GIF of like SpongeBob with the alarm going off in his face. And whenever I got that text, I knew that I didn't have a choice. I knew that I had to get up. So that kind of camaraderie that goes along with the gym definitely helps people out. I feel like that was a pretty good example of it. You mentioned the challenges that you've been doing. I think right now you're doing like a year-long challenge. At the end of last year, or you might have done it longer, but you did like a different challenge every month. I remember like a pull-up challenge. Yeah. You did like an ab challenge. Crazy. You did a sweating buckets challenge that was like all cardio stuff. Yeah. And then now you're doing the abs, push-ups, squats challenge, and you have to do each of those things, an ab workout, push-ups, and squats every day for 365 days straight. Yes. That's currently what you're doing, right?
So it's squats, push-ups, and the ab wheel. Ab wheel. Yeah. So it's just something where you have to have an ab wheel in your car, at home. You just need to have one. Like today, I've not done it. So I have the ab wheel in my car. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it at the collective.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Get out. Yeah, one thing I want to comment on real quick. Those of you who are watching the video, you might think like, oh, they're sitting there talking about fitness and they've got Michelob Ultras and Coors Lights in their hand. One of my biggest things in life, the last 33, that's what this podcast is all about. It's kind of like a work hard, play hard mentality. It's Thursday night for us. It's kind of the unofficial start to the weekend. It was more so that way in college, but Thursday nights, you can have a couple drinks. It's like, hey, as long as you don't slack, as long as you stay on the path with whatever fitness journey you're trying to be on. Yeah. Now, if your goal is to be this, really buff, in shape person, and every time you drink, it throws you off for 3 or 4 days, you probably need to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
I think proving that you can, because Thursday's kind of your dedicated night. To go out and do stuff. Go to the Collective here in Oklahoma City. Meet up with a couple boys, have a couple drinks, and that's just something fun to look forward to each week. So any haters who want to say they're preaching fitness with cold beers in their hand, that's kind of my response to that, I guess.
I mean, with fitness, right? I don't think you have to punish yourself. You know, like there's something where, and that's just my own belief. It's not like I don't know what other people do believe, but I don't sit there and I try to count I ate this many calories, and no.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one of those mental tortures. Like you torture yourself a lot because you cannot eat, you cannot drink. These are things that you love. Having a beer, it's not a crime. But you cannot stop drinking because you're working out.
Yeah.
Don't abuse it.
Exactly.
Don't abuse the drinking. If you can drink to where it's going to stop you from being productive or doing what is really going to help you tomorrow, then stop drinking. But if you can drink just because, it's Thursday night. You're relaxing. You've had a long day at work. Get a beer. That's fine. Eat something. I still eat pizza, bro. People say like, oh, you're working out, you don't eat pizza. Why not? It's food and I love it. Just that I don't eat it every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Overall, you're staying on the path. Like you eat pretty good. You exercise pretty much every day. You're up early in the morning. You're on the path. Taking some time out of your week to just kind of relax and take a little bit of a mental break. Yeah. I feel like that's definitely needed in some instances.
Yeah, because I've seen people like...
And that's different for some people. Some people, it's not a beer.
Yeah.
Some people, it's just like taking a night to, watch a movie or even drink. It could be a Dr. Pepper for somebody. Dr. Pepper's not good for anybody. But if someone wants to take a night and watch a movie and drink a Dr. Pepper, sure, like there's no health benefits to drinking Dr. Pepper. But... mentally, there's no point in torturing yourself if you don't have to do that.
Yeah, bro.
Now you've been following. We talked a little bit about David Goggins at work the other day.
Oh yeah.
David Goggins is a guy who absolutely will not slip up or he doesn't drink alcohol, will not eat junk food, whatever. But for David Goggins, he explains that he has to be like that.
Yeah.
Because if he does slip up, he knows who he used to be. His 300-pound self-spraying for cockroaches is how he says it. So just know yourself, really. If you cannot drink a beer without spiraling out of control and completely getting out of your workout routine, then just know that that's you.
Yeah.
But if you're able to handle that, and that's something that you can even work towards moderation to be able to stay on the path while also just kind of enjoying the little things in life at the same time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because... if you sit here, let's say you're really craving this beer, right?
Yeah.
And what is in the back of your mind is like, oh yeah, I've been working out lately, so I cannot get that beer. Trust me, the stress you're going to go through because you didn't get that beer, just get it. Just get it and forget about it.
Here's the thing. A lot of the times, I went to college. We both went to college, and I would definitely say I probably drank a little bit too much in college. I was hardly ever working out or anything. And I'm not going to sit here and say everyone wants to be in shape, but I was not wanting to put in any effort. I was prioritizing that. Mm-hmm. Now I want to prioritize fitness while also enjoying life, enjoying friends and family. Just because friends, going to get drinks with, or even just rooting on your sports team with, which we'll get into here in a second, our sports teams. Those are the things in life that I truly enjoy. One other comment that I want to make on this topic is that I've gone through stints where okay, I want to do, dry January or whatever. And then when I do it, I'm just am not really hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
What do I do this weekend? Like, I'm not one of the people who, like, I could go play basketball or something. Okay, but when I'm done with that, what am I doing that? Like, I want to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
I want to go to dinner. I want to do stuff. I feel like I was kind of missing out.
Yeah.
So I feel like, but also when I'm sitting there just drinking every single night, you feel 10 times worse. That's even worse than being in that opposite direction.
Yeah.
But being somewhere in the middle, somewhere where you can still prioritize your goals and get to where you want to be, I think that's just the most important part. It's different for everybody.
Yeah. And after I started being like really consistent going to the gym, right, I just had to look back and see like what happened that I used to fail. Because every time I would try, I could make it to like a month of being consistent, and then I stopped going. So I asked myself like, okay, why did I stop going to the gym? And I looked at it. The first time in college that I started going to the gym, it was the reason why I was going. My reason was to look good, to get girls.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, I think that's the reason for a lot of young men out there.
And so when your reason is to like, okay, I want to look good where I can wear a tank top and walk out there and girls are going to get my number or they're going to be running after me. If I talk to them, it's not going to work because one, you go to the gym for a month and you're standing right in front of the mirror looking at yourself and you're not going to see any gains.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to change. No abs, nothing, you know?
Just a lot of disappointment.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, no, I've been doing this for over a month. It's not going to work.
Not worth it.
But guess what? When I started being consistent, not worrying about what people are going to say or if people are going to like the way I look, I worked out for almost a year and I got surprised when I walked past by my mirror in the bathroom going to take a bath. I'm like, oh, yeah, I love what I'm seeing. You know, why? My reason for working out this time around wasn't like, oh, I want to impress that girl or I want to be like the talked about dude when I go to a party or something. But it was working out to like, okay, yes, this is something that really helps me. When I get off work, I'm really stressed, but I figured out that what helps me is getting on that treadmill, getting on that Stairmaster, lifting weights. You know, I do that, I sweat it out, and I go home. I'm good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and I also noticed that, okay, yeah, I'm staying really fit and healthy, you know, and I still eat good, but when I want to eat bad, I'll get me like, I love pizza. Like I said, I'll get it. And I'll eat it. There are some foods that I cook, and based on what I've heard from like coaches, it's not good for you. But I'm like, no, bro, this is rice, this is beans. This is food that I've been eating since I was a kid. Right. So I don't think it's gonna do a lot of harm to me or something. So I eat my food, you know. So what I'm trying to say is like, do it for good reasons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't be selfish, because at the end of the day, if you're just working out to impress people, it's not going to work for you, because every time you're going to be stressing yourself, like we were talking about. You cannot eat food, you cannot drink, there's a lot of things that you cannot do, and then you are going to be constantly checking yourself every time, like, oh, looking at yourself in the mirror every time to see like, oh, do I have big arms right now? How about my abs, my legs? Yeah. These things don't happen in a month or two, bro. It's going to take you years to build to look like that guy you see on Instagram every day. Right. So if your reason is to impress people, then at least put 3 to 4 years on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any point in, like, for me, my goal is it's not to be like a bodybuilder, it's not to be jacked. Back in college, the reason I ever went to the gym at all was like, oh, I'm not getting enough attention from girls, I'm going to try to get butt. And then, you go for a month, you go 4 or 5 days a week for a month, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this every single day, and it's not working for me. Doesn't feel worth it. You give it. And so now, whenever I work out, for me, it's honestly like a confidence thing, not for my body, but just, okay, I proved to myself that I can get up at 5 a.m. And go to the gym, have a productive day, eat a good dinner, go on a jog, stretch out at night, whatever, get a good night's sleep, and do the same thing over again. Yeah. And then, like you said, there's no point in just being tense all the time and just being miserable. Like, yeah, you get a lot of satisfaction if you kind of stick to the path and eat healthy and stuff over a long period of time. But what's your actual goal? Like, what's the purpose of you going through all that, the 5 a.m. workouts, the fitness and stuff like that? Is it just to have a good body? Like, if your sole purpose in life, nothing else matters, is to have a good body, to be confident and fit, then yeah, maybe you never take a night off or eat the pizza or drink the beer.
Yeah.
For me, if most of the time I'm working out like I said I was going to, and I eat right most of the time, and then I also take time to enjoy myself, hang out with friends, and it's all worth it for me.
Oh yeah. So because working out, like I've learned a lot from just working out. Like the 5 a.m.s, it's just it's also based on your schedule, you know.
True.
Yeah, I am a morning person. I am so productive in the morning. So if I can work out in the morning, trust me, it's a very good day.
Yeah.
So once I get up in the morning, and the 5 a.m. Waking up in the morning, it's like, you're not going to, I don't wake up at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. is actually my workout time. So I've gotten to a point where I don't even need an alarm because my system is already used to it. 4 o'clock, 4:30, I'm up. And for the first time in my life, I am reading a book. And it is surprising to me because that is not me. I am reading a book. And once I'm up in the morning, I am cleaning at 4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your time to get stuff done.
Yeah. So once just working out, it's a big lesson for me. I learned.
It's benefited you.
Yeah. Consistency, And also, one other thing is like creating habits. I think I talked to you about this a little bit. Like creating habits where you start creating habits like one habit at a time. Yeah, you want to be waking up at 5 a.m. Then you set up your alarm for 4:30. Just so we're human. You wake up at 4:30. Trust me, you pick up that phone. If you're not disciplined enough, you're gonna spend an hour going over your phone.
That's what David Goggins calls the inner bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, so I started learning those habits. So what is my first habit that I learned was like, okay, if you need to be consistent doing things that are really beneficial to you, what would be the first thing you do in the morning when you wake up? My first habit was like, once I wake up, the only time I'm going to look at my phone is if I'm reading my Bible on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2 days ago, I hit 365 days on that Bible because
Nice.
I open it every morning when I wake up.
That's a good accomplishment.
Yeah. So that was like the first habit. And then the second one was like, and once you start creating habits, you cannot join two habits together. I didn't do that Bible and another habit. I had to like stick to that habit to where I'm like already used to it, where I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Just wake up and I'm like,
So to where the next habit you try to pick up seems like habit number one. 'Cause
Yeah.
The other thing's already engraved in who you are and what you do.
yeah. So from the Bible, the next habit was like, okay, this is something that most guys don't do, but I'm going to do it. Make your bed.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go look at my bed in there,
Yeah.
please, because it is not made.
Yeah. And that was like the toughest habit.
That's how I should probably start doing it.
Yeah. So I would get up and somehow I noticed that was when I noticed I have 4 pillows on a queen size bed.
You didn't realize it before?
No.
How many did you think you
They're
had?
always on the floor and just one on my bed.
Oh,
the one that I use.
Yeah, there's no point in having 4 if you only use one.
Yeah. So now I'm like, since we're making a habit of making the bed every morning, those pillows, they need to be in bed also. Like you have to put them up there. So I wake up, I'm going to read my Bible. That one is something that you don't need to think about because you've been doing it for a while. But now you have to make your bed. So you don't have to make it perfect. The first time I would just get my blanket and throw it. I put the pillows on the bed and then I throw the blanket over everything.
Right.
To me, it was looking way better than it used to be. Then it got to where I'm like, oh no, the blanket should not be covering the pillows.
Yeah.
So I folded the blanket and it just got to where, okay, it's looking good. I'm making my bed. So you already have 2 habits, right? You need to build another one. And these 2, it took me more than 2 months to create. It's not like it happened in a week or so. No, you have to work your way out. So I'm doing those 2. So it's fine. There are days I still wake up and I don't make my bed. Yeah. But I make sure that in a month, if there are 30 days, I should make my bed at least 27 days.
Yeah.
You know?
That's kind of the thing. Most of the time, like if you're doing the right thing, like a championship team wins most of their games, right? I kind of like that. I think a lot of people just kind of, they'll do a habit for a few days, feel good about themselves, like, oh, this would brag about it almost.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've been doing that. And then the next week, it's just gone. I feel like that's the most common thing for people. You know who Jocko Willink is?
No, I don't think
He's kind of in that same, he was a former like Navy SEAL guy. Extreme discipline oriented, stick to the plan, stick to the path type guy, and that's kind of a lot of the same kind of the same road that you're going down right there, which is pretty cool. But again, we are sitting here drinking some cold beer. It is Thursday night. Cliff and I, we both like sports a lot. That's something we've discussed. So Cliff, he's originally from Cameroon, loves soccer.
Oh yeah,
that's your number one sport. Loves playing soccer.
Game, bro.
Loves watching soccer. Obviously, I grew up kind of football, basketball. I've kind of shied away from being a big baseball fan. I loved baseball growing up. Not as big of a fan anymore for whatever reason. I'm trying to get Cliff hooked on Oklahoma State football and basketball. Not too worried about all the other sports. What are your thoughts on Oklahoma State right now?
You know,
just from what I've told you.
Yeah, everything. I was going to say everything I know about Oklahoma State is from you. You know, even the fact that I can now sit there, if they're playing a game, I go look them up and just have the scores going on my web browser or something. It's just because I know you're watching the game. Oh, yeah. It's kind of like you know someone and you know this is a diehard fan. So when his team is playing, it's like you're feeling that empathy. You're like, I want him to win. It's like you, because I'm sitting there watching the game or just looking up the scores and stats, and I'm like, I hope they're winning, because if they are not winning, Jake is probably
probably pissed off
right
somewhere.
Now. So my connection to them is like through you. Because I know you talk about them. I've seen you at work. It's like Fridays, it's OSU shirts.
Yep, OSU shirt, Orange Friday, especially during football season. Basketball season's been disappointing, as if you listen to the last podcast, you heard me talk about that. My goal this football season is to get Cliff to Stillwater for a football game. Just one.
Oh, yeah.
Just got to get you to one football game. We got to get you a weekend where you're free. And we've got 6 home games this season, so that's 6 options. 6 weekends we have to choose from for you to go. And I always have a bunch of friends who are going up there. Obviously, I met all my friends at Oklahoma State, so everybody likes going back for the football games. So you got to join me at a game. We'll figure out which one you're going to go to. You down?
Oh, yeah. I'm down, bro. As long as you're getting me a shirt.
Okay. We'll get a shirt. Do you look good in orange?
We'll see.
Yeah. That actually was not a reference to Jeff Goodman's recent little scandal. Jeff Goodman's a college basketball guy who someone made a documentary that he didn't like, and he asked them if they look good in orange, basically saying they're going to go to jail. Saying that, this is like 2 days after, I legit meant, like, do you look good in the color orange because of Oklahoma State?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Okay. I know nothing about soccer, so that can kind of be our trade-off. I need to, like, pick a team or something and just start riding with that team. Start keeping up. Maybe throwing some wagers on them. All my listeners know I love to wager just a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, for picking it.
Who's your team? Besides, like, FIFA, you obviously cheer for Cameroon, but who's your like club team?
Oh, yeah. If we're talking club team, is Manchester City.
Manchester City. Okay.
Manchester City. So Manchester City is, for those who don't know, they're a club in the UK. So they play the English Premier League in the English Premier League. So they play against the likes of, I would call the teams that most people would know: Manchester United, Chelsea, and Spurs, Arsenal. So those are teams. Yeah, those are teams that most people would know. But Manchester City.
Is Liverpool? Is that another one?
Oh yeah, Liverpool. Liverpool is also a big one. So those are teams that clubs that we're already winning trophies from way back then. You know, like the Manchester United. Yeah, but Manchester City is like, they were still struggling to build up to where they can be like, okay, yeah, we are the top team, but right now they're the best team in Europe.
Really?
Yeah. And most people call them like that they're using the oil money, because the owner of the team is from the Middle East. So they feel like Manchester City is buying good players.
Oh yeah.
But my question has always been, tell me a player that plays for Manchester City that the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool cannot afford to buy.
So they all could afford to get these players.
Yeah, they could.
Because the contracts are public, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone knows how much the players are getting paid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
As far as we know, at least.
Yeah, so the thing is, we banter a lot. So my banter has always been like, it's not all about the money. You can have as much money as you want. And I'm going to use a reference of Chelsea. Chelsea has spent a lot of money, and I'm talking more than 360 million pounds over the year, to like maybe in the last 2 years, to buy players, but they're still losing big time. But I think it comes down to the manager, your coach. Who is coaching those guys?
Right.
Do they respect him? Do they get what he is saying? Is he like a very good tactician that can build up a team, use young kids and older guys, bring them together and have them play the beautiful game? Lucky enough, Manchester City, they have one of the best coaches, Pep Guardiola. He is known for his soccer style, which is, they call it tiki-taka. You just pass the ball around until the other team is so tired they can't do nothing. So he likes to keep that possession, the ball possession.
Tiki-taka?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah. So
I'm going to drop that in a conversation with somebody who knows soccer. Be like, oh yeah, he's a tiki-taka coach.
I think they would just reference it to Pep Guardiola for sure. They call him Pep every time. So yeah, and the thing is, I started supporting Manchester City when they were doing really bad. They didn't have the Middle Eastern guy that
you're a real one. You're a real fan.
Yeah, I've been.
You didn't just show up when they were good.
Yeah, I've had so many heartbreaks with them. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Yeah, but it just got to where they started getting really good, and then just winning trophies back to back. In just this last season, they won the treble, which is like they won all the domestic trophies in England, and then they won like the Champions League. So they got everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Manchester City, we are tied.
Yeah. How? When did you start playing soccer? Were you like 10 years old playing, or how was that back home?
I mean, growing back home is like, that is the only sports that we know.
Right.
Yeah. Other than running, cross country, and track.
Yeah. So just like cross country and soccer.
Yeah.
Those are the sports.
It's not like you're playing real game. It's just like a neighborhood thing where you can play on the street. Like just right in front of you, in your front door here, we'll put shoes as goals and start playing.
Right.
You play barefoot, bro. You cannot wear your shoes, because if you wear them, you're gonna mess them up. And what are you gonna wear to church on Sunday if
you mess up your shoes?
Yeah, so it was like we play for fun, but then there are competitions going on, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I never made it to any of those competitions. I was always a fan. Yeah, just go out there and watch the guys. But when it comes to like doing a friendly thing, I could play.
Right.
I started playing on teams when I moved here to the US.
Ah.
Yeah. And my only the only thing that got me into playing was because people noticed that I could run.
Right.
So I could take the ball from my own box and run to the opponent's box.
And score?
Not score, but assist. I'm known for not scoring.
Really?
Yeah. So
you just miss or what?
I just
Or
hit
you
it.
don't even try?
I just hit it hard to where it's not even going on target.
It's not going straight? Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it was a math teacher in college that saw me and it was like, hey, you could use this running to your own advantage and play real good ball. So instead of trying to play forward, play as a defender.
Right.
So I started playing defense. And it worked out for me. He was like, play on the wings. So you're just on the sides. Once I get the ball on the side, I just run straight. And then pass it into the box. And any of my forward guys, they'll score.
Boom. Score.
That was it.
Automatic.
Yeah, so I was not like, real good guy. Nah. I mean,
Yeah.
I understood how the game, I know how the game is being played. I know the rules, but the brain to play it, I didn't have it. But right now, it's okay.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
So is it called soccer or football?
Oh, football.
It's football?
Football every day, bro.
So what is the sport that Oklahoma State plays on Saturdays whenever I go up and watch?
Oh, I didn't know that sport.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I only came here to this country and they were like, oh, we're going to watch football. So my first football game, I thought I was going to a soccer game.
You're like, what is this?
Yeah. So when I got there was like 100 guys running into the pitch. I'm like, bro, and what is that goalpost? Yeah. It's way up there. It's like a guy
Under the pitch.
And I'm like, no, bro. So it was like, oh, this is American football. That's what he told me. American football. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but I feel like even then, if you didn't know, it still misleads you to believe it's some different form of soccer.
Yeah, because I thought it was soccer. Then they started playing and someone caught the ball and started running. I'm like, handball. Because in soccer, if you touch the ball with your hand, it's handball.
Yeah, so did you know that the word soccer growing up? Like, was that even a thing?
No.
When did you first hear the word soccer?
When someone invited me to go play soccer. Yeah.
So you were like at college.
Yeah, I was in college. And
The first time you ever heard soccer was in college.
yeah, and we're not talking college like right out of high school because I graduated high school back home and I went to college back home before coming here. So I was already like 22, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and the difference right now, because if someone is traveling from back home to here, they're obviously going to know about American football. They're going to know about soccer. Why? Because right now, social media. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, it wasn't a thing where you'll be like, I didn't even have it. I had a phone, but it was like, you know, the Nokia S1 something, the one that goes,
Yeah.
yeah. You could not access any like social media on it. But right now, everyone back home, they have multimedia phones. They can get on there and research. I think with my group of friends growing up, I was the only one that would even surf the internet a little bit. And
Right.
you would have to go into what we called back then a cyber cafe. So it's someone that has a little shop with computers with internet connected to it, and you just go and pay for like an hour to use the internet.
What do people do in the cyber cafe?
Yeah.
Play games or shop or what?
Yeah, you just go,
browse the internet?
Yeah, just that's the only thing you do, or you can print out your documents. But you go in there and be like, hey, I need an hour. They give you a ticket, you pay for it. You go type in that ticket, it gives you an hour to use the internet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Did anybody ever watch adult videos in the cyber cafe?
oh yeah, I searched for them.
You did?
Yeah. But they'll stop you. Yeah, because they monitor that they can see whatever you're doing.
Right.
So it's just like sitting right here, there's a monitor here, there's another one, there's 4 of them. So you got your hour you're using. I got 2 hours I'm using, you know. So for me to get on Facebook, I'll get an hour and then go get on Facebook
Yeah.
and see who's online so I can message them.
Right.
Hey, how's abroad? How's America? Boom, boom. Oh, time out.
Oh, see ya. Won't hear from you for a while.
Oh yeah. So,
dang, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's how most of my friends, they didn't really know a lot about the internet. They didn't know a lot about what was happening outside of our little Cameroon. Because they would have money, but the money would go into something else. Mine was into computers, internet. And in high school, a short little story, I went into the internet and I looked up for love letters and love poems and stuff. So I'll get those, I'll copy them, I'll put some into a floppy disk drive. And I'll go back in to our school computers, I'll print those out and sell to the other guys. So I went to this website, it used to be called lovingyou.com. So you get love letters, you get like short love messages and stuff like that. So I'll copy all of them, put into my floppy disk, and then go print them out and start selling. Because the way for us to get to a girl was to you had to write a letter. You didn't have a phone to text.
Yeah.
You have to write a letter to a girl.
So they would just kind of copy the love letter and just write it for themselves?
Yes. They would just copy it. It looks like, we call it good English, because it's well written. And it's like all these things that if you say to a girl nowadays, they're going to laugh at you.
Yeah.
But it would be something in the lines of if loving you was, just making reference or something. Yeah. That is what I would do. I would sell that.
If loving you was the ocean, I would drown.
And then when you write that, you just write down below, please reply. And the girl is going to write a letter. Give a friend to come give it back to you.
So if you don't put please reply, do they not respond or?
No.
Wow. So that's pretty important little tidbit right there.
Yeah. You have to ask them to reply. If they don't reply, it means they don't like you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that would just be unfortunate.
Or you can try again. Yeah.
So quick question, and this might be an ignorant question. So for young people in Cameroon who, let's say, 15, 16, 17 years old, is coming to the U.S. something that is viewed as a positive thing? Do people want to end up coming to the U.S. or what's that look like?
If we're talking about my own generation, when we were 15, then yes, that was a big thing. But now, nah. Like I said,
it's just because so many people have done it that they're like, oh, you need to stay loyal to your home, or
no, it's just like I said, the world is now way open. People are now smart enough. The information is right. Yeah, that's why I would say information is right there for everyone. They know they can get on their phones and know what is happening in the US. And they can do businesses online right now, so they have a lot of they can make money, you know, because the only thing that would encourage someone to even travel abroad was oh, I want to go make a lot of money for me and my family,
right?
But now they can do that sitting back home,
right? Yeah. So does every household just have Wi-Fi and everything? So
it's not everyone,
because you mentioned the cyber cafes back when you were younger.
Yeah.
Are those still a thing, or is it a lot more common for everybody to have internet connection?
I don't think I don't think we still have those right now, because everyone now has a phone. They have iPhones, they have the Samsung Galaxies and everything,
right?
And most of the internet is on their phones. Houses, I don't think they have the Wi-Fi. They might have something to plug on their computer and have the internet connection from their phone service. Yeah. So it's way better than it was before. Yeah.
I feel like that's, in this day and age, that's how they make money. If people work from home, you have to have internet to do that. People sell stuff online. So many people are making so much money. It is honestly rare nowadays to make money without the internet anyway. Just you got to think, if someone has a business, no internet involved, door to door, cash only, that's really the only way that that'd be able to, or just setting up a shop somewhere.
Yeah.
No internet advertising, anything. Just put your sign up. No credit cards, cash. But you don't really see that anymore.
Yeah.
So if you have access to internet, it's kind of sad to say because the internet's kind of taken over the world completely.
Oh, it has. Yeah.
But if you have access to internet, you really have access to everything that's going on everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I was saying like
entertainment,
right now.
business, sports, communicating with others, social media, everything.
Yeah, like right now you don't see anyone back home being excited to like traveling abroad. What they do now is like they go on vacation. You know, before it used to be like, oh, I want to travel to America. I don't know if I've told you this, but what I used to think of America was like, if I am here, I didn't even expect to see a table like this in America because I was expecting like something, you know, like a robot or something. Like, yeah. Something where if we are sitting here and you want a beer, all you needed to do was push a button and beer is just going to walk from somewhere, sit here, open, and maybe there's something like just pouring that beer in your mouth. That was the mentality we had. It was like living in paradise. That was our own mentality, and it came from watching the same movies over and over again.
Right.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but now, back home, someone can see a video of a homeless guy in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They can see everything going on. We're not hiding anything anymore.
Yeah, they can see a very rich guy in America that walks around with 10 bodyguards. So they see everything.
Right.
They see the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And there's a lot of it all.
Yeah. That's where they make their decision. Do I really want to go over here?
Yeah.
Should I stay back home and just make money? Because now, like my brother, he's selling soccer jerseys online. It's a big thing. Like, when I was growing up, selling stuff online in Cameroon,
Yeah.
I was like, how? But now,
Right.
he is outsourcing from China and selling.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that covers the whole world.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Cameroon to China to the U.S. That's wild. Yeah, because I could see somebody, let's say 20 years ago, coming to the U.S. and going to New York City and saying, oh, the U.S. is crazy. There's tall buildings everywhere and just like people, it's nuts. You'll never believe it.
Yeah.
And someone says, oh, well, I want to go to the U.S. and they come to Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, well, this isn't anything like that guy said it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I guess it's probably without the internet, like before internet was easily accessible to everybody, I could see how it'd be very easy for just the overall interpretation of what it's like to be misconstrued.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, what we did was like watch movies, right? You watch, even when I watched the first movie that I watched was American Ninja, and it still looked very beautiful. There's helicopters everywhere, there's beautiful houses, you know. All you're thinking about is like, I want to be in that place. I want to be there. You start watching movies where you see like, oh, skyscrapers and everything, like you're like, I need to go there, you know? I just want to take a picture. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just the U.S., which a lot of different countries are like this, which that's one thing I want to do at some point in my life is like, because I've never been overseas, even to like Europe or anything.
Yeah.
I've been to like Turks and Caicos or like Cabo, Mexico.
Yeah.
But it's always been, you know, North America.
Yeah.
I've never been across the Atlantic Ocean or anything like that. So I feel like there's more life that I have left to experience, but I'd imagine there's a lot of other countries where like you just go to one place and that's your opinion of that country, although there's a ton of different things to see. Like Arizona in the United States is a lot different than going to Buffalo, New York. You know, and it's 6 feet of snow on the ground.
Oh yeah.
So that's weird to think about. It's something I've never really had to think about, just because like, you know, I grew up here and just like always knew.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and like I said, it's good because the world is developing right now, you know. Like I said, like information is just there in our hands. We can easily access information. It was just because we, like back then, if I was thinking about going to the US, there was no way for me to research, you know.
Right.
Or I still remember when we were back home in school, and you would have to like write a letter to someone in the US, and it would take months for them to receive it.
Right.
And then for them to reply back to you, it would take another 2 or 3 months before you get it.
Things could have totally changed by then.
Yeah. But now it's like, hey, how's it going? I'm doing good. But
Yeah.
boom, 5 seconds, you're done, you know?
And would you say, I mean, this kind of seems like an obvious question, but would you say that's better nowadays?
I mean, yeah, it is better.
Or is it less special to get a message from somebody? Are you more of like, it doesn't mean as much?
I mean, it is better. You know, that anticipation. Like, just sitting there. Okay, just imagine, like, you were sending me a letter. Let's say you're my, like we used to call it, is it pen pal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one in Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in like 2nd grade.
Yeah. So just imagine you wrote them a letter and they needed to reply back to you. They'll reply. So like from you to them and from them back to you, it took you guys 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to send back another letter. And then they're going to reply back 6 months. And all you've done is like 2 letters each, you know? So at the end of the day, it gets boring.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is going to give up on you, you know?
It's crazy how we're all connected nowadays. Like sometimes when I fly on a plane, like if I go and say I fly to Las Vegas, make a stop in Denver, I'm like, man, I'm here at the airport in Denver with people who are going to Los Angeles, people who are going to New York,
Oh, yeah.
people who are going to Chicago, people who are going to Miami. It's like, man, it's pretty wild how the world's come to a point where I'm just sitting here with all these people who, everyone who's in this airport right now is probably going to end up there. Every city in the United States is probably represented in this airport right now. And I could sit here and go shake their hand and give them a handwritten note to deliver to somebody in any city in America if I wanted to, if you really tried. That's pretty wild.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at one of those flight tracker apps, it shows you like all the current flights that are going on right now, like the entire nation. Like if a plane is yellow, and like there's a yellow plane symbol going from Chicago to Miami, and it shows every single what the entire country is yellow because of how many planes that there are.
Oh my God!
Like it is insane how many flights are just constantly going all over the place. Like it is. We're so connected both through social media and even like it's so easy to get from one place to another nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, even if you research and see like how many visas that the US gives out, you'll be surprised. Like how many international like come in here,
right?
You know, and then how many do fly out? It's crazy. How many people like it's just it's easy right now, you know. Like I was saying before, even just having the money to pay your flight from Cameroon to the US or anywhere in Europe, it was a lot of money, you know, because we're talking about millions of francs CFA, which not everyone in Cameroon is gonna be like, oh yeah, I have 1 million francs sitting somewhere. Nah. But then, so when someone used to travel, like let's say someone was flying from Cameroon to the US, the family would host a party, a send-off party for that person, because it was a very big thing.
They're leaving.
Oh yeah, very big thing. They're celebrating that. Oh yeah, my daughter is going to the US, so they throw a very big party. I'm talking about things where people are gonna eat, drink, dance, get drunk, go crazy, just because someone is traveling to the US.
That's wild.
But now,
and then they end up in Nebraska or Oklahoma. I'm sitting here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, but now, like when I left home and I just woke up in the morning and my mom was like, "Hey, where you going?" I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I'm traveling. I'm going to Dubai." They're like, "Okay." They walked me out and that was it. We didn't like throw a party or nah.
Have you been back since?
Nah. Just been here since 2012.
So since you went to Dubai and you went straight from Dubai to the US?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've not gone back to Cameroon one time?
No.
And when
not
did
at
you
all.
leave Cameroon initially?
I left Cameroon. That was November 27th, 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long were you in Dubai?
A year.
A year? Mm-hmm. Wow. Do you ever plan on going back?
Oh yeah. Bro, home is always going to be home.
Yeah.
You have to go back home.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, right
Is
now.
that like in the car? Like, do you have a trip planned or anything? Or is it just like eventually you're going to get back there?
Nah, I've not planned anything. I mean, it's just that I want to go, but if I'm going to go, I have to take my daughter with me.
Right.
And traveling with her, it's a lot of planning.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't want to take her at this point in time. She's still very young. I mean, if she's 5 or so, yeah, I can take her. But right now, I think we're going to give it another 2 or 3 years before we can go.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. I mean, I know you and I have talked a lot about like, Cameroon. You filled me. I had zero knowledge about Cameroon before I met you. So, just out of curiosity, this is just due to lack of knowledge. Like when someone flies into Cameroon, like let's say you decided to leave tomorrow, what would that travel process look like? Would you go to like Miami and then fly straight from Miami to Cameroon, or what would that look like?
It depends, because honestly, if you're going to fly to Cameroon, I mean, you cannot decide tonight.
Yeah, you got to plan it out a little bit.
I mean, if you can decide tonight and you have a lot of money to pay a flight that expensive, you can, because one, you don't need to process any paperwork if you're going back home.
Right.
Yeah, so you can do so, but I don't know how that would work since I've not traveled back home, but I know there's going to be at least a few sleepovers. Depending on the flight that you're taking, if you're doing like Air France or I don't know which one you would use, because I've not looked it up, but you might go through Belgium or France or so, but you're gonna go through at least a few countries before getting back to Cameroon.
So there's not a flight going straight from the U.S. to Cameroon?
I don't believe so. Nah.
That's wild.
Nah.
Yeah, because you got to think people like go to Europe all the time for travel, like, honeymoon or just a vacation or, any sort of popular destination, Paris, London, whatever.
Yeah.
So those are constantly going back and forth. But I guess I've just never thought about, like, what's the closest flight heading straight to Cameroon from me right now, I wonder.
I don't know. Because if you are flying from OKC, I don't know where it's going to take you, but
obviously first stop would be a major U.S. airport, I'd imagine, like a Chicago or a Atlanta or Miami.
Yeah, and it could take you to Dallas.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, but the thing is, just know you're probably going to have like at least 5 stops.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yep. And it's just for sure you're gonna sleep somewhere. Yeah, you cannot
bring a pillow.
Yeah, you cannot. I mean, with that kind of international travel, I'm guessing the airport, like they might provide you a place to sleep. It's not like you're just gonna go in and crash somewhere.
The corner.
Yeah, nah, they might get you a place. When I was traveling to when I left Dubai to here, I think I had to spend a night, or was it on my way to Dubai? I had to spend a night in Kenya. It was my first time to just spend a night in a hotel, and it was like a 5-star hotel. I'm talking first time in an elevator.
Really?
I was so nervous because all I've heard before that day was like, they go so fast, and I'm talking about 70 miles per hour.
Oh, wow.
So when I walked into that, I was holding on to anything I could find. And all of a sudden, the lady was like, "Oh, we're here. Let's go." I'm like, "Oh, I was waiting for it to just
start going."
Yeah.
But you didn't even feel it?
I didn't feel it. Yeah, I was so scared.
You thought you were just going to skyrocket like a rocket ship?
Yep.
That's wild. Well, hey, Cliff, we're coming up on an hour now. Is there anything you want to discuss before we head down to the Collective for a couple celebratory Thursday night drinks?
I think it's been a a good night and a good conversation. Like I said, a takeaway from like we were talking about working out and stuff. I would say just do it for yourself. Don't try to impress people.
Right.
Yeah, because if you are doing it for the wrong reasons, you for sure know it's not going to work. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you've done it. I've done it multiple times and failed. But if you're doing it for your own self, like, hey, I'm doing this to be a better person, you know, I'm not doing this to impress that girl out there or to look way better than my friend or my brother or my roommate, just do stuff for yourself. And like we were talking about creating habits, create your own habits. But before you create a habit, it's just like school. What are the prerequisites for this habit? We're talking about going to the gym. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Once you put in a lot of work, it's expensive. You need like really good gym clothes. You need good shoes because you need to be comfortable. My first thought about the gym was like, just wear anything you can find, the things that you don't really care about. But once you start doing it for like, this is something I love and it's helping me deal with my stress, it's helping me with my health, it's helping me with other aspects of my life where I can stay consistent with things that I'm doing. Or if I start a project, I can finish that project because it's the same thing that I do every day. I go to the gym every day. I spend 2 hours. Why not study this? So if I'm going to study this program, I make sure I start it and I finish it.
Right.
So it's you're learning from it. So we're talking about consistency. We're talking about discipline. We're talking about doing it when you're not motivated, and doing it for yourself and not to show off.
Right.
At the end of the day, once you do it for yourself, once you do it for the right reasons, even the things that you would do them for the wrong reasons, they'll come to light.
Right.
Like where you wanted a good body to impress people, if you don't use that as your goal to work out, but you use your goal as like, okay, I want to be healthy, I want to do it and make sure I'm a better person, you're working out, you're gonna look good eventually.
Yeah.
So someone is gonna walk up to you and be like, you look good. You don't have to take off your shirt, bro. Yeah. And someone is gonna compliment you. So the things that you used to do for the wrong reasons, like what you were doing you were doing this thing for someone to tell you like you look good and to impress someone.
The validation.
Yeah. Now you're not doing it for it, but it gets to where people appreciate it. Like, oh yeah, you're doing good. It took me a year to start posting my workouts or what I do, because I wanted to make sure that I was consistent and that I know what I'm doing before I even try to show someone. And one reason I didn't tell you why I started posting is because I live with so many people that it's like some form of jealousy. When they see you doing something, they're jealous. So they want to do it more than you do. They want to be better than you.
That's the thing. That's the thing. People do not like it whenever people try to better themselves because it makes them feel shittier about themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So if I wanted you to sit here right here with me forever and drink beer every single night for the rest of our lives, but then you start working out and getting fit and, stress-free, happy, eating right, and I'm sitting here drinking beer, fat, I would say... I'd start finding ways to cut you down. I'd start thinking of, how you've changed and how, you're not fun anymore, just to tear you down because I don't like it that you're not down here on my level anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously that's not the case. I'm just using that as an example.
Oh, yeah, I get
but
it.
that's just how that's just natural. That's just how people are. People who are not fulfilled and they're not happy with themselves, they love to tear others down. That's why even like sometimes I'll post a podcast. My podcast, like I've had some fun guests on here, had some good guests, and any traction that I've gotten, people love to like laugh at it, make fun of it, and stuff like that. And I know it's because they're like, oh, well, he thinks he's somebody. He's not down here on this level anymore. He actually got a little something going. We don't like that. We want to pull him back down. But now with you coming on, now we're going straight to the moon. So it's
because like you were saying, when I started working out, right, my own friends would text me and make it as a joke and like, oh yeah, it's because you're divorced, so that's why you're going to the gym. Pretty soon you're gonna come back to us and we're gonna hang out like we used to. I get those comments, and some would tell me right in front of me. Some of them would be like gossips, but then I learned that the group of people that I used to hang out with is they don't like the fact that I work out, because they want to work out and look better than I do, which is the wrong reasons we were talking about.
Right.
And so they started working out. And here's the thing. They started posting their workouts when they started working out. And if I see a workout that's you're not doing it accurately, I'll tell you.
Right.
Because I've researched, I've watched videos on how to get a form, and I'll say that no, this is not right. I'm like, you cannot start working out and you a tiny guy and you go and start trying to lift 80s. You're gonna break your arm or something. It's gonna fall on your face.
Right.
So I saw that and I can tell, like, okay, this is the jealousy I'm talking about. This is the wrong reasons you're doing this. But on the other hand, I am happy that my friends don't like what I'm doing, so they want to be better than me, and they're working out.
Yeah, there you go. More power to them.
So I started posting it, and they will view it, and then go work out and post it. I'm like, I don't care if they go do the workout for 10 minutes.
You're gonna post stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just keep posting every day so they can see it.
So they know you're getting after it every day. You're sending a message.
Yeah, and go work out. And eventually some of them called me and like, hey, so I like what you're doing. Can we work out together? I'm like, no. My schedule, I cannot fit you in. And I'm at the stage where if I take someone, they're going to slow me down.
Right.
I cannot. They're like, okay, what do I need? I'm like, I can help you. This is how I started. This is the app that I started using. If you want to get on it, get on it. If you need anything from me, let me know. And once they start being close to me, that's when they start telling me like, oh, I was hanging out with this dude and he was telling me that you think you're this. I'm like, it's okay. Let's not talk about our own friend, So I just started noticing that, oh, my own people that I used to hang out with before my life turned to a place where I had to take a step away from them, don't really like what I'm doing, but they want to do it way better than me. So I'm like, I am going to use the posting as a motivation for them,
right,
to do it. So I post it. They're not going to like it. They're not going to comment on it. But then they're going to see it.
They see it.
They're going to get mad, and then they're going to go to the gym. So I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm still motivating you.
Yeah, you're helping them out. You're helping them out, and they don't even know it. No, and honestly, like you mentioned, working out for the wrong reasons. Like, you don't want to work out just to impress people, to get validation, to show off, because you're going to end up quitting probably, just because that kind of stuff, that artificial stuff, doesn't last.
Yeah.
But you got to admit that when you're working out for the right reasons, obviously you start seeing results. It's pretty fun making people jealous. It's pretty fun making haters jealous.
Oh yeah.
So that's just kind of an extra little cherry on top, a little benefit of the whole process.
I mean, it's just like we kept on the group that we have. We used to be like, oh, shirtless summer. I've never posted a video of me without, like, shirtless. No.
Yeah. No, you haven't.
No.
I don't think I've ever seen you shirtless.
I'm not doing that, because I know if I want to impress someone, it should be someone that I really like. And first step will even be to go talk to them. If they're going to come to me because they saw that, oh, the chest is big, then eventually they're going to leave.
Yeah. What's even better? So someone just posting shirtless pictures on Instagram all the time. Like every person in the world sees them shirtless, and they're just like, oh, they're trying to flaunt. They obviously think what they have is like really good. Or whatever. I think it's a lot better and more valuable, in my opinion, to maybe validation's the wrong word, but if to find a guy like you who's not seeking validation out there, at the end of the day, whenever you find, let's just say a girl, for example. So not every girl in the world is going to see you shirtless.
I know.
But when there's one girl who does, and then oh my gosh, and she's just blown away, that's way more valuable to me than just showing every single person in the world.
I mean, if it gets to a place like, based on like the guys that are like coaches, that's what they do every day. Them without a shirt on, it's okay, but don't be you like a normal guy. Just get up one morning and then just go to the gym, work out, and then you take off your shirt, put it on your shoulder, you stand there right in front of the mirror like, hey, and drop it on there. Trust me, those girls out there, they've seen better.
Right.
Yeah, they've seen better, bro. Like, we talk about the internet, right?
They can see everybody. They can see all the guys out there who are, models and fitness trainers and like celebrities and everything. Yeah,
I don't know who you're going to impress. Even if a girl wants to see like something, now you have AI. You tell the AI, "Oh, I want a guy that has like 20 abs." Yeah, it's gonna create it for you,
right?
And you're gonna see it right there. So, who are you going to impress out there?
Yep. So about doing it for the right reasons, Cliff. I think that's a good point.
For sure, bro. For sure. Just do it for the right reasons.
But I think I've got a couple more of these Michelob Ultras left in me tonight. If we want to head down south downtown to go to the Collective, man.
I'm down.
I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming. I definitely would like to do it more frequently. I honestly wouldn't even mind like having other guests along with you coming on in the near future. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Go Manchester City. Go Pokes.
Yeah.
We're going to get you to a game soon.
Oh, for sure, bro. I'm
down. I think that's all we got.
I'm down. Thank you, brother.
Cliff, I appreciate it, brother, man.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.